Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have Business Insider featuring a Ukrainian soldier, not only a soldier, complaining or at least revealing what the Ukrainians fear the most coming from the Russians. And it seems like there's two things that this soldier complains about. Very interesting. One are some powerful bombs, and the other one is the air supremacy. But the air supremacy, he's gonna go in some details explaining what exactly it is. And it's not only the aircraft. They're talking about the surveillance, the ability to pick up targets from out there. So let's look at this article coming from Insider. Ukrainian soldier says Russia has an edge in the air and its powerful bombs are among the biggest fears for frontline forces. So I'm not gonna skip the little propaganda, which I don't think they do. The Ukrainians are making slow and steady territorial gains. According to many articles that I featured in my video yesterday regarding, which I think the Russians are in a counteroffensive, not the Ukrainians. I think the Ukrainians, with their evacuations and telling us that the Russians attack in Kupiansk, Liman, Marinka, and so on, I think that things are the other way around. But that's why I'm not going to read that. So let's go back to the article. It says that, but a communications specialist, this is a soldier, communications specialist in Kiev's military says there are significant challenges such as Russia's edge in the air. Moscow's guided bombs are among the quote-unquote biggest fears for frontline forces, the soldier said. So, a communications specialist in Kiev's military named Alexander Solonko details the ongoing fight in the occupied Zaporozhye region in the recent X thread. He highlighted the threat posed by Moscow's powerful guided bombs, the challenges of battling through Russia's layered defenses and fortifications, including minefields, trenches, tunnels, and anti-tank obstacles, and the role that aerial reconnaissance completed with ranged fires plays in hindering movement. It says any soldier can be spotted by the enemy from far away, no matter what unit they serve in, or the topographical features of the battlefield, Solonko wrote, adding that the personnel and equipment can be targeted and fired upon from a distance. Attempting to execute a mission under complete concealment is, and I'm quoting, mostly impossible, he said, according to a translation of his remarks by another service member. Solonko also noted the enemy's advantage in the air, end quote, which, he said, has been a critical factor in Ukraine's armored vehicle losses. Much of the airspace above the battlefield remains contested after 18 months of full-scale war, but early in the counteroffensive, Russian attack helicopter crews found they could strike from beyond the reach of Ukraine's short-range air defenses. Well, this is just a call for long range, so they can hit Moscow. That's clear, to me at least. Ukrainian forces have since gotten better about eliminating these threats. But others remain, such as Russian aircraft, give us the F-16s, which will be picked like mosquitoes, that can release guided bombs at a distance. Okay, good. KABs are one of the biggest fears, Solonko said, referring to the Russia's arsenal of guided bombs. And I'm quoting, the Russians use them extensively. I can speak to their accuracy. Oh my, I can't. Oh, I thought he said I can. I can't speak to their accuracy. But the weaponry is powerful. He can't because he's going to say, well, they're too good. He's going to get fired, court-martialed, and shot. Just kidding. The Ukrainian military has been raising concerns about these kinds of weapons for months, identifying them as serious threat to Ukrainian operations. Some of these bombs can be over 3,000 pounds. So that's 1,500 kilograms, roughly. They attempt to target logistics and command centers. Hey, Mayo, you can't say that. I thought only civilians, children, schools, hospitals. Jesus Christ, man. Bolonka, whatever your name is, not good. Just as we do. He continued, added that they are also fire on roads and forward defense defenses in settlements. Forward defenses in settlements. Okay, so defenses are in the settlements, yes, as we knew. And I'm quoting, the aerial reconnaissance-like system Orlan Zala Supercam is effective and causing issues, Solonko said, referring to several different types of Russian drones. And I'm quoting, they identified targets and launched Lancets, releasing them in swarms along with KABs. They attempt to break through and hunt down vehicles. So, my friends, their recapture positions are even more calibrated, he added, before highlighting the destruction on the front line. And I'm quoting, bombs are not spared, no lack of mines either. The tree lines where one of the crews were operating was simply leveled. Only a palisade remained, and a well-made trench ceased to be usable. So I listened to an interview conducted by Tucker Carlson with former U.S. Army Colonel Douglas McGregor a few days ago, maybe a week or so. And in that interview, Colonel McGregor states that he explained that the Russians, what they do better than, he said, possibly the US and NATO member states, is this exactly way of figuring things out, who's who, where. And then he said, I think in about 8 minutes, could be a target, the whole, from surveillance to transmission the information, coordinates, getting the things ready, and launch 8 or 9 minutes, I think it was, according to Colonel McGregor, saying that in 9 minutes, if you're still there, they're gonna hit you. That's how good the Russians are. Now, I listened to Colonel McGregor's, statements, and sometimes I have to say that I'm surprised of what kind of information he's got and where he's got the information. Because as a retired general, not yet, he was kept from, he's not going to be a general ever unless Trump gets reelected. If Trump gets reelected, he's going to get to the position of general, I'm assuming, but I think that it has to be worked through the Pentagon. He was kept to a colonel for his, how should they put it, straight talk. Nevertheless, this guy confirms what Colonel McGregor said, and because I was like, okay, yeah, all right, thank you very much for the information, but this guy being promoted, writing on Twitter, on X, and then Business Insider picking that up and giving it to us like this, it's very interesting. Why would they do that? Because they haven't been doing this for the first, I don't know, 1 year and a half almost. You couldn't hear this kind of articles in the Western media, or obviously in Ukraine, regarding this kind of concerns. They were all mild, but don't worry about it. This, for me, this soldier, let's put it as they put it, these soldier statements are desperate. They don't seem calm, and they don't seem reassuring. At least to me, they seem like, oh, we're done. This is how good they are. And these guys promote it. I think a switch was turned on at one point about a month and a half ago, when I started noticing that some Western media trickled down some articles to us that were not very, beautiful of the Ukrainians, or articles like this one, where you have an Ukrainian saying, oh man, we're by those guys, or those guys don't have a rusty equipment as we thought, and these guys keep saying it as mainstream media. So here it is, my friends, glided bombs, reconnaissance drones, satellite, and precision. He can't speak about it because he doesn't want to talk about it. He can't say, because he's going to be fired in a second. Why? Because you have the military-industrial complex that has to make profits, and that's why they say the Russians' weapons suck, ours are perfect. Buy them. It's money, my friends. Money for nothing. So I think that confirms what Colonel McGregor said about a week ago. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.